So I'm sitting here in this hotel and I have had like a very stressful like past 2 months. Um Between like April, May, June has just been really stressful for me. And in the midst of all of that, I have been like really neglecting my self-care, and part of my self-care has been like yoga, in a specific type of yoga, not like the white woman yoga that you guys, are probably familiar with, but like I do a certain type of yoga where I just play meditation music and I kind of just like really get in tune to my body and figure out like what my body is feeling and figure out what kind of energies are stored in different parts of my body and what kind of like tension is stored in different parts of my body. And in doing that, I have come to this conclusion. And basically what has came over me during this very powerful yoga session is that sometimes, and look at that, it is 10:10. I shit you not. It is literally 10:10 as I speak. Anyways, y'all, what has came over me is that like my higher self just started talking like immediately upon me starting my yoga session. And I've literally been on the grind. Okay. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. I'm pretty sure a lot of us are on the grind, getting our money and stuff like that. But I'm on the grind, literally working 7 days a week, 12-hour shifts, trying to get things done faster, but not really realizing that I am like slowly like deteriorating mentally and physically because I am trying to basically work myself so hard so that I can achieve things faster. Hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. Like my higher self was waiting. She was waiting at the door. Okay? And she was like, "Girl, you're okay, mind you, my car, my van that I bought broke down for like the second time. It didn't break down. Sorry, it didn't break down, but I was having issues with the coolant and the temperature gauge. And recently I've been like experiencing neurodivergent burnout to the point where like the smallest unwanted sounds would literally drive me insane. Like my phone ringing, my phone going off, people playing loud music in the car next to me, like just little things would literally like drive me insane. And that's how I knew like, okay, I'm starting to really burn out. And that's the thing about me is that I will push myself until I burn out. And then when I burn out, I need like 3 months worth of just rest and not doing anything, right? So anyway, I say this to say that I'm sitting up here literally trying to work myself to the bone, to the core, work myself to burnout, only to be met with this obstacle that I believe has been purposely put in place, because I believe everything happens for a reason. I feel like it's been put in place because had my car not had issues, I would have not booked this hotel. Knowing that I needed a break, I would have not like booked this hotel to give myself that break and do my yoga session and really relax. Like literally, I've been feeling so like restless and stressed, and I was feeling so uncomfortable in my body. I didn't realize what an uncomfortable position I was in until just now. And it's crazy like having to like reanalyze your environment. So, long story short, in the midst of trying to be a responsible adult, I feel like I can get caught into like trying to do the right thing, trying to be responsible, trying to, pay those bills on time, go to work, and do everything that you need to do. And that is true, but it also is just as responsible to take care of yourself, even if that means taking a self-care day so that you don't experience burnout. Because once you burn out, just like that engine, because literally what was going on is that my coolant system is like malfunctioning. So that's what, is being checked out on my car. And it's just crazy, like the parallels, you know what I mean? But had it gotten any worse, the engine would have just, so yeah, like in the event I kept pushing that car, the engine would have been, so it's kind of like the same thing. Like in the event I kept pushing myself and pushing myself and pushing myself, and I don't know if this comes from like childhood trauma and like, stuff like that, but that's a whole nother thing to unpack. I just feel like, sometimes I can push myself so much to the point where I forget to take care of myself, and not realizing that taking care of myself is also just as responsible, if not the most important thing, before anything else. So it's crazy because there's certain things that I want to achieve, but I can't like push myself to achieve them sooner just to have that like gratification. Meanwhile, like I'm like mentally and physically deteriorating. Like, so long story short, take care of yourself. Take that day off, okay? Order in if you don't feel like cooking, okay? Like, you could be responsible, but also taking care of yourself and knowing when you and respecting your limits on certain things is also okay. Because if you end up pushing yourself to like complete burnout, or to complete just like mental, like literally like pushing yourself too hard, or like being under stress for too long can literally affect your mental health and your physical well-being. So yeah, on top of like making sure that you have a routine that allows self-care, even if it's just like a little bit of self-care every day, definitely helps. So that's definitely what I'm going to look into implementing in my daily routine, is a little bit of self-care. And also, I just wanted to add this segment as well, about like neglecting self-care and stuff like that. I feel like when that happens, you kind of end up in like a very toxic cycle. Like for me, because I like completely cut out alcohol. I completely cut out like any sort of like THC. If so, I would do like maybe a little bit of CBD, but that's about it. So your girl's like trying to live, the complete straight life. And in the midst of that, I found myself like overeating to like compensate for like uncomfortable, like emotions, or just uncomfortable like physicality like within my environment. And I realized that I just need to be more like forward when it comes to problem solving things when I'm met with things right then and there, instead of like putting it off because I'm trying to like achieve this thing. So yeah, like I would like be, for example, like I really want to get back in the gym. And I'd be like, okay, well, I really want to get back in the gym, but then I also want to work and be available to work 12 hours a day. But then I also want to make sure I get at least like 8 to 9 hours of sleep. And it's like, there's just not enough hours in the day to be able to, do all of that. So I have to kind of completely reconstruct my, routine to make sure that I get, everything that I want to do done that is reasonable, within a certain time frame. So yeah, I'm at a point where I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to basically figure all of that out, because like, I'm just like, I need to fit in self-care in there and in my routine, and just kind of like get rid of like these imaginary deadlines that I have in my head. But yeah, in the meantime, I'm going to try and enjoy this hotel. Honestly, at first, I was like irritated at the fact that I had to even like pay money for this hotel. But I'm telling you, like that yoga session, I never realized how much like my body was like tense, and I'm like ready to like flip the switch and like do the things that I need to do to take care of myself, because I've been putting that off because I've been trying to do the responsible thing and put like other things before my self-care, so I can just kind of like mentally delete those things from my from like my worry mentality and like that space in my head that it occupies. But I feel like I rather, take care of my self-care than sit up here and worry about things that, you know what I mean? Because the present is all we have. Like, the present is the most important thing. And I just want to worry about the present, not the future.
Just do it!